harder to govern today than it has ever been. So if Lenny had won, boy, it would be a challenge in a whole other way. But where are we today? It's far worse than where we were in 2022 in terms of social media. Right? The guardrails have been lifted, and you'll see this globally. We just finished a deep dive into the US information ecosystem. Americans are going to vote with the younger generation most at risk because they live on social media. That's Gen Z. Who are Gen Zs in this audience? Gen Z, sana Gen Z ako eh, pero hindi. And the fracture lines, the way disinformation works is it pounds open what is most visceral, what you believe in the most, right? So we're seeing this happening in the United States, at least 7 layers of manipulation. And have you ever seen such a volatile race in the US? Not for a long, long time. So what's at stake and where are we today? But look at Bangladesh. The youth, 2 of the youth leaders are now ministers in Bangladesh. And Muhammad Yunus, who was forced out, he had more cases than I did. He is now leading Bangladesh, right? So it's strange, we live at this volatile time. Sorry, the last thing I'll say is, you said the rise of the far right. What have we seen? The EU, the anchor, France and Germany, there is the far right, and then we have elections in Germany. Those elections in October are going to be in East Germany, which will mean the far right will win. I'm going to make the prediction. Austria also is looking like it will tip. So the world is getting reoriented, and then the last part in all of it, it's the question we had here. The world needs to prove that a rules-based order is actually still in place. Rule of law. Between Putin and Netanyahu, you have a problem with rule of law. Where are we all? This is only the beginning of it, right?
And so it begins.
And so it begins.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's it.
All right. My question to Ma'am Lenny has really been on my mind because we carry on. We're here. We're here. People who decided to dig in, and people who have thrown their lives, your lives, into the ring. Ma'am, ano po ang radical love ngayon?
Siguro bibigyan ko lang ng konteksto. Getting into the 2022 campaign, yung tinitingnan natin na model noon, at that time hindi pa sila masyadong successful, yung Turkey. Kasi di ba parang ina-oust noon si Erdogan. Tapos yung opposition, they were not successful yet at that time, but they were on a platform of radical love. Kasi parang sa atin, masyadong polarized yung tao. Dahil masyadong polarized yung tao, hindi sila nakikinig sa bawat isa. So, in Turkey, ang pinaka strategy ng opposition is to campaign among their ranks, to practice radical love. Para mas buksan ang mga puso nila na makinig sa mga supporters ni Erdogan. Parang sinasabi nila na hinihate natin si Erdogan, pero makinig tayo sa mga supporters niya at baka makuha pa natin sa side natin. So we felt that maraming similarities tayo with the opposition in Turkey at that time. Na bakit hindi natin ikampanya yung radical love among our supporters. Pero kayo na makakapagsabi, sobrang hirap. Diba? Sobrang hirap kasi talagang hindi lang nagtatansyahan eh, pero parang nangiinisan talaga sa social media. And many times, kinakagat natin yung beat nila. And lalo lang nag-lead siya to polarization. So, the elections happened, alam na natin yung nangyari. Sa akin, from the moment na lumabas na yung results ng elections, from the moment that I first talked to the public, 3 a.m. right after the elections, alam ko na yung, I felt it in my heart na dapat i-shepherd na i-shepherd na yung tao dun sa mindset na hindi tayo natalo. Kasi we started something really special. And that something really special was the movement that we started during the campaign. Kaya kung napapansin ninyo, lahat ng mga messages after the elections coming from myself was really iparamdam sa tao na hindi na sayang yung lahat ng efforts natin. In fact, naging conversation namin ito ni Ramona, even before Sundance. Kasi, pwede ko naman sabihin, di ba, na yung working title nito, ang working title nito, This Is How It Ends. Yun talaga yung working title niya. And we both, nung conversation namin, we both agreed na i-treat ba natin yun na end na talaga nung movement natin? So, actually, hindi ko alam kung ano yung isa-suggest na title. Pero alam ko na dapat hindi siya This Is How It Ends. Tapos, biglang naisip ni Ramona na, and so it begins. Di ba, parang mas appropriate siya. So, yung paano natin pinapractice yung radical love, doon pa din tayo. In fact, yung decision ko to pursue the track na grassroots organizing, to be as quiet as possible dahil alam ko na pag maingay ako, hindi tayo makakapag-organize. Marami din sa hanay natin ang medyo critical about it. Kasi, syempre, ang iba, election mode pa, gusto nila tira. Pero para kasi sa akin, kaya siya and so it begins kasi talaga yung power of the long game. Alam natin kung saan tayo nagkulang, alam natin kung ano yung wala natin when we enter the fight. And ngayon, yung panahon para maghabol tayo o i-correct natin yung mga wala sa atin. So siguro yung radical love ngayon na despite siguro criticisms o misunderstanding na sa kind of fight na ginagawa natin ngayon, patuloy lang tayo. Patuloy tayo kasi klaro sa akin during the campaign kung ano yung role ko. At yung role ko mas nasa organizing. Kaya in-announce natin during the Ateneo rally that we will be starting Angat Buhay as an NGO the day after I finish my term. Kasi Angat Buhay is supposed to be the vehicle to continue organizing and we have been doing that for the past 2 years. And ako very happy naman ako to note na marami sa mga grupo natin, buhay na buhay pa din. Buhay na buhay, quietly doing the work. Ako naman, yung pag-asa sa puso ko na pag kinailangan ng panahon, nandyan pa din kayo. Yes. At handang-handang lumaban para sa bayan. Yun yung radical love for me.
Maraming salamat po. Palakpakan. Kay Munina naman, Munina, I actually know how it is to be in the middle of an artwork that takes months and months and months. And it's like, it's a kind of deep dive that you can hardly get out of. But with subject matter like this that you know is about political process and cultural undertow, that doesn't end. And that can bring you deeper and deeper into it. How do you then get out of it and think about the future? What's next for this story? How do you bring your mind out?
Money. No, it just, no, I'm teasing. But it is really funding, right? Speaks of that. But yeah, I immerse myself in situations and I find it such a privilege, right? Because basically what, what the Vice President has done and what Maria has done is given me a front row seat to history, right? And what I do is I bear witness. And what I do is, well, I see something, I'm like, wow, I want the audience to see this, just to experience it. I think my job as a filmmaker is to give you an experience. I'm not prescriptive about messages. I'm not prescriptive about how you feel. How you feel is how you feel. It's all about context, right? But I just want to give you an experience. How do I, and you can make these pieces of art forever. You can, it takes us 12 months to edit. We had 800 hours, but at some point you have to stop because then you overthink it, right? and then you take the life out of it. Because some scenes in the film exist and have existed since the very first cut. And if you keep going back, then the brain takes over, and really, it's really, a lot of filmmaking is intuitive. It's instinct. And that first instinct you have to listen to and go back to. And I know when I'm thinking about it too much, that I'm sucking the life out of it. And it's even with structure, right? This film sort of meanders. And I wanted a meandering film. I'm like, I'm just gonna go where I wanna go. And there is no arc. And I think that's appropriate for this film. And sometimes the people you collaborate with, your editors, want to impose an arc. So you have to say, no, let's go where we feel. And I think as long as we define the grammar of the film for the audience at the beginning, I feel like the audience will follow us wherever we want to go. I hope. That is the hope, right? So I'm not sure I answered your question, but yeah.
I think they will follow you.
Yeah, hopefully, that is the
I
hope.
really think so. Before I open the floor to a few questions, I'd just like to say that in front of you are three ladies, and that it seems to me that there's journalism over there, represented incredibly well by Maria Ressa, and politics incredibly well by Ma'am Leni, and here's art. Now, it does seem to me that we do have a number of media, a number of skills, a number of disciplines that will tell our story and that will make us think, which is probably far more important right now than mere looking back. So the floor is open to questions.
Okay, here. Dito na lang po tayo, sir.
10 minutes for questions, so I think about 2 questions.
Speaking of radical love, would you want Nankakampings to watch the film? How would you invite them, and what would you want them to take away from the film? Nankakampings. To everyone else.
Siguro expand ko ng konti, no? Kasi I've watched this many times already. Sundance, LA. In February, I showed this to my cohorts with the Rockefeller Foundation in Italy. Tapos nagkaroon ng private screening, very small group here. So I think this is the 5th or the 6th? This is the 6th. Actually, yung i-share ko lang dito bago sagutin ko yung tanong mo. Yung pag-appreciate ng film, iba-iba, depende kung sino yung audience. Ngayon, bago nag-start yung film, pinaka-nervyos si Ramona. Mas nervyos siya ngayon kaysa nung Sundance. Dahil kayo kasi yung nanonood. Ako oo din. Nung pinanood namin ito sa Sundance, Maria was also with us. And yung pinanood ito sa Italy, para siyang Philippine Politics 101 for the audience. Kasi nakita nila how elections are conducted in the Philippines. Na talagang with all the extravaganza. Ano yun, parang tayo lang yung ganon all over the world. So marami yung ingay sa crowd among the foreigners. Tapos yung Holy Week na mga scenes, parang lesson din sa kanila. Kasi wala din yun sa kanila. Pero napansin ko, iba din yung reaction the first time na maraming Filipinos in the crowd, and that was in LA. Yung sa LA naman, mas emotional ang tao. Maraming naiyak. Lalo na yung mga naging involved sa campaign because it made them relive all the moments during the campaign. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung mga emosyon nyo ngayon. Ako, i-share ko sa inyo the 6th time that I was watching this. Ang taba ko pala nung kampanya. So parang ang hirap pag-emote. Ang gulo ng buhok ko, ang taba ko, ang itim ko. Pero that aside, yung gusto sana nating take away ng mga kasama natin dito. Number one, to make them realize that they were so much a part of the movement. And the kind of movement that we started was something else. Hindi siya kampanya lang. Hindi siya basta-basta. And sana with that realization, yung passion na pinakita nila during the campaign, yung energy, yung vigor, sana magtuloy-tuloy. Sana yung pinakamaramdaman nila, na simula pa lang yun, para hindi nawawala yung pag-asa. Hindi lang para magpatuloy sila sa pakikibaka. Pero na maramdaman nila kung gaano kahalaga yung kontribusyon nila sa movement na yun. Yung sinabi kanina ni Maria, yung mga examples all over the world, yung pinaka-recent, yung Bangladesh. Ako, hindi ko alam kung binabasa pa ng mga kasama natin yung balita, pero sana oo. Kasi pag yung mga little bits of good news, lesson yun para sa atin eh. Di ba? Parang in a way, parang best practices. Na kung magpatuloy lang tayo, yung Bangladesh, parang mas masama pa yung lagay sa atin. Kasi talagang far right. Pero nagdesisyon yung mga kabataan na talagang lumaban, hindi umalis sa kalye. Nag-resign yung presidente. Diba? Ngayon, Nobel Peace Prize na naka-exile. Kababalik lang sa Bangladesh kahapon to head the new government. And yung mga lumaban sa streets, sila ngayon yung mga ministers. So sa akin, yung pag kinabit-kabit natin yun, sino naman mag-aakala na kaya natin yung milyon? Diba, yung Ayala, hang 9 o'clock lang kasi Ramon, yung 780,000, 9 o'clock pa lang yun. Nag-million yun. Yung 11 o'clock na yun. Pero diba, have we ever imagined early in the campaign na magagawa natin yun? Hindi, diba? So sana yun yung maramdaman na kung nagawa natin yon in a short span of time, pag nagpatuloy tayo, mas magiging mahusay pa siguro tayo sa mga kabataan ng Bangladesh. Diba? So, yun yung take-away na gusto ko sanang yung nanonood, pag napanood niya, ganito pala kami kahusay ng kumpanya. And kaya pa naming paghusayan palalo sa mga susunod na laban.
Maybe one last question. Kung maaari pong magtaas ng kamay, and then we'll go to you. Meron ba po ba?
The lady over there with glasses.
Ayan na po. And then I think may microphone from...
Magandang gabi.
Thank you, Bo. What change would you like to inspire with the future generation of voters, the children of today, such as myself?
All right, a generational question. I'll throw that to Maria first, and then to Lenny, and finally to our director.
Thank you, Bo.
It's a tough question. You have to fix everything that's broken. And unfortunately, sorry, there is a lot broken, right? But I think, kind of like in Rappler, you have to actually enjoy the creation of that. Because everything that came from my generation, I now carry a nice senior citizens card. It's a great discount. You know, sorry. But it's a different world. And the technology that you're growing up with that has been rolled out will change it even more. The environment is going to get worse, and we must demand better. So how do you do that? We've learned some lessons. And one of the lessons we learned in Rappler with the Facts First pyramid is that inspiration spreads as fast as anger. That's something that the Philippines discovered, and the same pyramid has been rolled out in other elections around the world. So that's the first. I think, like, it's so easy to tear something down. It is so much harder to build. and your generation, the youth today must build. We'll help you, but your energy is different. So that's the first step. Don't become cynical. That is the path, the wrong path.
Ako siguro supplement ito sa sinabi ni Maria. And this is something that I've been telling my very young staff nung nasa OVP ako. Kasi when you're young, parang gigil ka to change the world, diba? Talagang gusto mong malaman, ano ba yung pwede kong gawin to change the world? Pero paminsan, because everything's broken, paminsan overwhelming eh. And when it overwhelms you, you feel a sense of helplessness, saka hopelessness. So isa lang yung lagi ko sinasabi sa staff ko before. Huwag na muna nating i-dream ang pag-change ng mundo. Hanapin lang muna natin, asan ba yung spaces available for us? And yung spaces available for us, no matter how small, let us fill up those spaces. Parang lagi ko sa kanila sinasabi, ang metrics natin dito, if we are doing everything we can, are we able to fill up all the spaces that are available for us? Kasi parang pag ganun yung mindset, parang one problem at a time. Hanggang nagkakabit-kabit yung mga capacities natin lahat. Baka kaya nating basagin at kaya nating i-repair everything that's broken.
Yes.
So sa akin, halimbawa yung nandito ngayon ngayong gabi, iba-iba yung mga roles natin na ginagampanan. Diba? Kahit kami sa opposition, merong mga national leaders na talagang voice of the opposition. Ako naman, ang tingin ko sa akin, grassroots building. Hindi gusto sabihin na magkaiba yung ginagawa namin. Mas better off ako kaysa sa kanila. Hindi. Pero dahil pagkakabit-kabitin natin yung mga ginagawa natin, magiging isang malaking space yung ma-occupy natin. So, ganun din, dito may media, merong mga politiko, merong mga community leaders, merong mga estudyante. Bakit hindi natin hanapin? Ano ba yung spaces na available sa atin ngayon? And we make a difference in the spaces that are given to us. Napakita natin yun during the elections, di ba? During the elections, ang daming wala sa atin, wala tayong resources, wala tayo na lahat. Ang baba natin sa surveys, pero ang lakas ng loob natin. Ang lakas ng loob natin kasi alam natin na marami tayong magkakasama. At pag pinaghalo yung lakas natin, kaya natin tibagin kahit yung malalakas. In the rallies that you've been to, I am sure marami dito pupunta sa mga rallies. Di ba parang we felt na it was the best of the Filipino. During the rallies, pupunta tayo doon. May dala tayong pagkain, i-share natin sa iba. Pagkatapos ng rally, kahit ang dami-dami natin, in an hour, malinis na ulit yung lugar. Yung pag-mount ng mga big events, kanya-kanyang assignment lahat, kahit madalian nagagawa natin. Bakit natin nagagawa? Kasi pinifill up natin yung mga kaya nating i-fill up na spaces, at pag kinabit-kabit natin yun, we are able to create something really beautiful. So sa akin, moving forward, laging ganun lang yung mindset. Asan yung espasyo, punuin natin yung espasyo.
I guess final word from the director of this wonderful film. Same question. Sa payo sa mga kabataan.
The final word, that's a lot of pressure. So I've been thinking about this. I think, the best thing is you have to remain engaged. And it's hard to remain engaged when it's so noisy, right? I don't think the point of disinformation, it's not my original thought, but really the point of disinformation or the lies is not to make you believe the lies. Is that to make you question what the truth is, right? I mean, you start questioning and are confused, you disengage, and they've won. So you have to remain engaged. So sometimes to remain engaged, you gotta shut off everything. Silence, so you can hear your own thoughts, I think is really key. It's so hard to be silent in this age, in this oversaturated age, right? So I think that's my thing. Yeah, just shut everything off, silence, and remain engaged, because we need you to remain engaged. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po sa paglaro ninyo. Ang sigurong huling sentence ay yung nasa t-shirt ni Maria Ressa. Be the good. Diba? Para yung kabutihan ay umiral. Maraming salamat po.